Hey guys, it's Mr. here, and this is video for Hack My iPhone, and I'm going to basically say my thoughts on Android versus the iOS. Now, oftentimes people say they don't like Android, mostly because they're an iOS user. Now, my evidence to back it up is the reason why I don't like Android is, well, for many reasons, but first of all, Android is looked at as bad compared to the iPhone. Now, yes, it's bad compared to the iPhone, in my opinion, but that really isn't a sufficient evidence of answer. Now, so firstly, I'll say my biggest thing is they have good hardware. Almost all the Android devices have good hardware. They usually run at about a gigahertz processor, which is the same as the iPhone. They usually have a excellent display like the Galaxy S. Probably maybe as good as the iPhone 4 or even better. That is the hardware is excellent. The cameras are always good, 720p or on most of them. But when you actually look at the OS itself, it's not really up to par with other OSs out there. Now, the hardware is, again, excellent, but the OS really doesn't implement the hardware excellent. It's kind of like if you had a quad-core processor running on a Windows 98 operating system. It wouldn't be using your quad-core processor to its fullest ability. Now, that's my biggest thing, is the hardware is not used up to its ability. Also, if you look at the HTC Evo 4G, I believe that had a 8 megapixel camera and in 720p, and it was nothing up to par with the iPhone 4. And the iPhone 4 is at 5 megapixels, and yeah. So the biggest thing for me is hardware. Now, the second thing, I'm actually gonna open up my iPhone. You can't really like, the apps aren't exactly like the Android app market is kind of like not really built up yet. The apps, you got a lot of Angry Birds, Fat Booth, stuff like that that's on the iPhone, which are pretty cool that they're in Android. But you really don't have the big audience and the big community that you have on the Android. Now, you don't have half as near as much as the App Store, although number isn't always what matters, because on App Store there's a lot of fart apps and a lot of crap apps, but I definitely think this number is sufficient in overruling Android. Now, another thing about the OS, not just any phones in specific, the OS really, I've been using a few Android devices. I've used a Evo 4G, I've used a Samsung Galaxy S, and I've also used a Nexus 1. And I see the same thing on all of them. Let's just look at, say, Safari web browsing on the iPhone 4. When you zoom in, it's instant. When you're on, let's try doing this with like the old iPhone 2G. When you're on Android, it actually lags like quite a bit. I'm going to show you that with the, let's try doing this with the iPhone 2G we got right here. And this is 4 years ago, almost 5, and slower processor and everything. And let's just let that page load. But I mean, this is a little choppy, but it's pretty much the same level as the Android. And they have a gigahertz processor, they have better camera, they have better everything. And I mean better hardware. But I feel that the iPhone 2G still performs way better. So you can see that just the pinch to zoom fact, the touch mechanism is so much better. I mean, it's a little bit choppy, not as smooth as the iPhone 4, but it really is, touch, it really works well. Also, when you slide pages, I noticed on Android, it goes like, it's like when you, it's kind of like glitchy and like laggy. That's my biggest concerns is the processor isn't being put up to what it could be. The processor could definitely be used much better. Also, the camera again, the camera could be used much better. And the whole OS, I really do not like. I mean, the fact that you have to pay for those home screen widgets. Now, someone brought up a point that you can root it without without voiding your warranty. Now, there's a funny thing about that because rooting it, yeah, big deal on an Android device. You can't really do too much. On an iPhone, you can root it. You can void your warranty, which actually doesn't void your warranty if you just restore and be smart about it. You're not going to walk into an Apple store and be like, hey, I got an iPhone, now I want it repaired. You're not going to do that. Just common sense. I mean, even the people at the Apple store, they really don't care, just they can't service it because they want to save their jobs. That's one big thing. With Android, you can root it, yes, amazing. You can do so much. Not really, that was sarcasm. The iPhone, you can root it, you can change the UI images, you can change the whole OS. You can really just essentially test your apps. You can do a lot more. That's into that. And you got this whole big jailbreak community. Now people bring up that they have their video wallpapers on their Android device. Big deal. I've used the video wallpapers, and they are really just not good. The battery life, you can literally watch go down. Now that is just really just like unacceptable, I guess. The V wallpaper for the iPhone actually pauses the video when you go into apps and lock it and stuff like that, making much more sufficient battery life. And now, Android does have a few advantages over iOS, like the pulled status bar down. But again, the lag in that, I mean, that's my biggest thing, is the lag in the touchscreen when it has the gigahertz processor. That is just unacceptable, I would assume. And yeah, so Android really, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, is not up to par with the iPhone, although it does have some advantages, including some of the hardware is actually better, but the OS does not support it. And the last thing I would like to say about Android is us iPhone users like to have the newest device. When you're on Android, you cannot win, you cannot have the newest device. There's always a new device, like get the Nexus 1. Probably about 4 months later, we have the Nexus S. And that's another thing. Their gingerbread and their names of their OSs are really not professional. They're kind of sloppy. I mean, come on, gingerbread, froyo. That's just my opinion again. And their updates really didn't bring much. I didn't see too much. I guess this is all up on my opinion, and I'm an iOS person, and I'm coming from an iOS perspective. But I've used Android phones, and I'm not impressed with the OS. And that's pretty much what I would like to say about Android. Now leave your comments down below, and I dragged on for quite a bit, so tell me if you got bored, if you're still watching this. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button. It's iOSforlife.com and twitter.com/MrAJsTech. And there's also the main channel at youtube.com/MrAJsTech. Just kind of wanted to get the video count going on this channel. And I thought that I didn't want to upload this to Mr. AJ's Tech to get anybody mad. So I think that's it, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.